Race fans, motorsport lovers and others, and welcome to stage 10 on Raceday, live from Hatched Studios at our secret location. He's Taki, the Greek, Hippocrates, and we have a very, very special guest on the line.
I'm just a biker guy.
I'm Colin. Welcome to a show. I still got to find a name for it, but just for the theme at the moment is Hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie, because just for fun, we have Henk Ladegan is back in the lead overall, and Mr. Doherty wins the stage on a Rally 2 bike, only the second time it's done. Some other guy who may have ridden a bike before, Danilo Petrucci.
Yeah, and he also crashed out of this year's Dakar on a truck. So yeah, we hopefully he doesn't follow that route. But yeah.
But never mind that.
Good day.
On the line, from a secret location close to a workshop, is the current Rally 2 world champion, Bradley Cox. Bradley, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry that you aren't there, but I'm so glad that you're with us.
Oh, I'd rather be here than there, I tell them you paid me to say that.
So Clifford has been whining and whinging the whole blooming Dakar that everything's just about cars and cars and cars. So we've got Taki, who's a motorbiker. We've got a world champion motorbikes. We somehow foresaw it this morning that we would have a super South African day on the bikes. Brad, that's a proper significant win by Michael, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really stoked for Mike. I think, shame, the guy's been through the ringer this Dakar. I mean, day one, he cracks his bottom of his shoulder blade and he's been in pain. And honestly, I left the bivouac 2 days ago and I said to him, hey, just remember, stage 10's yours. You start, make sure you don't finish too high up and you know what to do. And he did it today, which is awesome. Awesome for Mark. Long time coming. He's been close a couple times. And just Dakar for another South African to be up there. This Dakar, the theme has been South Africa, whether it's cars, whether it's been bikes. So, he's showing that we're a real threat in the rally nation.
But it wasn't only, your team, he's the Baz team. What did you have, 4 or 5 guys in the top 10?
Yeah, really, really cool day for Bart. I'm really stoked for him. Basworld KTM managed to get 4 guys in the top 10. But a lot of games being played today. I think we can get into more of that just now. But a lot of cat and that can be it for Sir today. Cat and mouse. That's the we'll take that because that's I think that's what's happened in the cars, and most definitely know that's what's happened in the bikes.
Awesome stuff. Let's get straight into the cars. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, it's in 4K. It's absolutely lovely. We've got all the stuff in our Hatched Studios at our secret location at number
21 Woodlands Drive.
Yes, totally,
top secret.
Totally secret. Cars, Nanny Roma. Stage 10 today, 10 years after he last won a stage, he ends up winning. Ford will no doubt be very, very happy to have won a stage, and I think Nanny is a good deserved winner. Anyway, there were a whole lot of other bunch of guys, but 4th overall, Brian Baragwanath, Leonard Kramer in the Century. It was a stage of guys came out fighting. I've got Roma, Moraes, Baragwanath, Schroeder at stage 1. And it was, 8th overall for Danny Schroeder. Overall, including the 2 side-by-sides that finished, 3 of the bloody things finished in head. The side-by-sides are light. It was sandy, 59 and a little bit kilometers per hour. And I think the big news from that was the way that Henk, not entirely, his PR story was he's not entirely comfortable in the desert, in the dunes. And I actually want to say Brett Cummings and Henk Ladegan, because if you follow some of the navigation, the trail, Brett was stellar today, absolutely magnificent. And the team, they spoke about it earlier, how they work together as a team. That team gelled today to stick time into Yazid and to Nasser. I mean, that is probably, I think he would take that as his stage of Dakar.
Jeepers, indeed, that was impressive. It's really awesome to see the result, especially with a day filled with dunes.
Yeah, and then also in the cars, you look at Brian Baragwanath, Leonard Kramer, again, stellar navigation by Leonard, and Henry Cohen. And to have a 3-4, I mean a 4-5, is it? Yeah, 4-5 for those two cars. That so we had Stuart last night, a WCT car coming in. Man, I love it. Absolutely.
And it was a split route, so the cars really had to have a good navigator. You didn't have 100 bike lines to follow, you know. So it really hats off to them for doing that, and especially, you see, Nasser got lost in the morning. That was sort of his thing, is that he just when you're not, it's quite different when your whole life used to 100 lines, and then they start these split stages all the time. I think you're going to see more and more people wanting bikers to come be navigators, and also more and more people, I think the South African racing, it keeps you to be, you read the road. I mean, especially on the bike, that's where why we thrive in rally racing so quickly, is because we read the terrain. And now on the cars, it's the same thing. They read the terrain. They have navigation, obviously, in the SA rally rounds, but it's about reading the terrain and looking ahead of the car, not just at a tablet. So I think this all plays hand in hand.
And Brett has got history in doing Dakar on a quad, and he did the Malimoto. So, just to your point. And I think that Brett and Henk, their relationship is quite spectacular. And it's, sorry, did I mention that they're back in the lead?
Yeah.
And they took time out.
I don't know if you did. Let's go through that. What did you say? What did you say?
I meant that Brett Cummings and Henk Lauterkhan are leading Dakar overall. 2 stages to go. There's more deserts tomorrow, and it's another separated thing. Man.
What is the lead?
Just over 2 minutes, which I think is, it's a good lead. Let me just go to the overall. I love how you just upset my flow here. I had it all 2 minutes 27.
Keeping you on your toes.
Oh, thanks, Brad. Somebody has to. And I mean, here we got bikers, and we're talking about cars. How cool is that? You're learning fast, young Padawan, because your dad.
10 years. I want to be with the windscreen, not freezing on the liaison. I've already said that.
That's a big statement, Brad. How's contract time looking for your next car navigation job? In talks already.
Hopefully my cap stays on my head.
You've got the Gazoo type there. So it's 227 on Yazid, 26 on Ekstrom. That's probably 30 on Nasser. Okay, so tomorrow there's flat sand and tall sand and 276 Ks of racing. I would venture that 30 minutes might be a little bit too much. And if we take today, if Brett keeps doing what he's doing, 2 minutes.
You're 100% right on that. In that, tomorrow's a big day. I mean, if there's one stage that he needed to focus on, it would be today. And just seeing it, Brett finished 24th. Yazid finished. Oh, I'm going down the list here. Where did Yazid finish?
Yazid was.
It's quite low.
Brett took 9 minutes 20. That was his finish. Nasser was 21, Ekstrom 18, and
Yazid 57.
What did you write down there, Colin?
Yazid finished 57. So I don't know how it works so much on the cars, but I think it's the same at the bikes, with where it goes 3 minutes for the top 10, then 2 minutes 11 to 20, then 1 minute 20 to 35.
Yes.
After 35, it goes to 30 seconds. So Yazid's whole game plan is going to be to catch Henk. But there's a lot of people between you, of course, and trucks. So hopefully it doesn't affect him too much. But hopefully, if I look at this, Henk is in the perfect position. He's got good guys. He's got Sahut just behind him, and he needs to just see Tero just ahead of him. He needs to just catch and pass, and get away from Yazid. And Yazid needs to fight through. And it's pretty much whatever happens tomorrow is the deciding factor, because the last day they all start together, mass start. It's going to be very hard to try and close anything between 2 minutes.
I've got the starting list here for tomorrow, and Henk is 11th, and then we go, Guthrie is 16th. I know we're talking about tomorrow today.
Oh yes, because this whole they shuffle it because of the ultimate and then the stock and the SSV. I get very confused with the card.
And then you've got Matthias starting 25th, Yazid 27th, and Nasser 28th. Now, if you take if you started more than 15th, 16th behind, you end up with mashed up sand. I mean, you know it better than I do, and the mashed up sand is slow. Henk is 11, ideal starting position in my mind.
Yeah, really good. The biggest thing you want is it's not so much about the sand, it's about the lines, and you don't because you don't have to really look at the navigation. You're just following lines and dunes. So, but the organizers will try and catch them. There's going to be waypoint C's out there, and that's where there's no arrow, only the 100 meters before. And on a dune, you can get very drifted off. So it's also the guys that are opening. Hopefully they have good experience for Henk. But this is looking good. This is really looking good for Henk.
So you talk about the hidden waypoints there, and you going along on your bike, blah, 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 and you think you're navigating good, and then you start seeing a whole mashed up tracks. Is that when your navigation things prick up a little bit, and you say, hold on a minute, I've now got to pay attention. There's obviously these guys have been looking for something, I must pay attention. Is that kind of how it works, Brad?
So generally on the bike, when you see the first turnaround line, you know you're in a bit of trouble. So you've got to be on that road book. You've got to be on that road book the whole day. And yeah, like it was the day before before the Raceday, we were going along an open plain, and we had to go into a wadi and then out of a wadi for a waypoint. And sort of I was coming along and I saw one line turn off, and then I saw the next line turn off, and I thought to myself, this is not so right, because somewhere we've missed a cap, or we've stayed too far to the left or too far to the right. So what I did is I got into the river, I noticed what the cap was, I tried to see how many lines on my left, and if there's any lines on my right, realized no lines on my right. So then I sort of said, okay, I'm too far to the right. What's the cap? Okay, let me go 10 more. And I just went on this cap, and 500 meters, the arrow opened. So, yeah, on the bike, it's really, you're trying to do this whole block system in your head. You're trying to figure out, am I left or right? That's your whole thing. Am I too far to the left? Am I too far to the right? Or the best thing is, where was I 100% correct? Was it a kilometer back? Was it 2 kilometers back? Sometimes you need to turn around and go all the way back. That's when you lose massive time. But generally, you'll say, am I too far to the left? Am I too far to the right? And you'll start blocking. So when I say block, you go 100 or 200 meters to, let's say you're too far to the right. You go 100, 200 meters too far to the left. Then you go 100, 200 meters up. Then you go back to the left. Then you go back up. Then you go back to the left. And eventually, you should, after about 800 meters, you should find what you're looking for. But that's pretty much the thing. I wasn't very good at maths at school, so it also is not ideal when you get thrown into these situations. Taki's got some PhDs and masters, masters and this and that in maths, and I'm just here with grade 10 plodding along.
Well, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, but you can ride a bike. He battles.
I was going to ask you, Brad, at what point do you decide to turn around?
I mean, I'm a has-been racer there.
I mean, how far do you go until you realize, wait, let's turn it around and backtrack? Because, I mean, for me, I'm one of those guys, I'll just keep going and keep going. But is it a kilometer?
Okay. Yeah, okay. So like 600 meters. I mean, you feel when you're like, that's a bit long, But I've also had it where I've thought, no, I've gone too far, turned around, figured out, no, I was right, gone back, and I literally went 50 meters more and the arrow opened. So that's the frustrating part, but... it's this year the navigation was extremely tough. It was a new guy doing it, a German guy. We had always Paulo Eli from Argentina, and was quite a bit different. This guy was big on caps. His detail wasn't too good. In my opinion, he missed a lot of dangers. Hence why I'm sitting at home. And Ross too. The problem is they in a Toyota Hilux, like a 2x4, cruising along at 20 k's an hour, marking this thing. They don't realize how much we cut the speeds we go. So when they put a danger 1, like, they need to realize, if they arrive at 140 here, what's the suspension going to do? Okay, it should be a danger 2. Sometimes we complain, they overmarked, like it was a danger 2, but we could have not shut the gas, But I'd rather have that than a little bit like this here. Honestly, we had a couple danger 1s, and I was like, that should have been danger 2.
And by the time you arrive there, it's generally too late.
It's too late. It's too late. You fall on the clamps and you lean back and hope that your suspension has been really well tuned that day.
Shall we get to some bike results and Motul? You've been to Dakar. What did you go there for? There's a technical analysis stuff and what. It's all too scientific.
Yeah, Dakar, I'm lucky enough to say I've been there. It looks amazing on the TV, but once you're there, it's a different world. It's just so impressive, the scale of this event and what they put up. In 2020, I was lucky enough to run our Motul lab. That was in the second week, so really cool experience.
What does the lab do?
So what we do at the lab is we analyze oil for all competitors. It's a free service we offer to the guys.
Not just the Motul guys. So
not
you can
just
have
the
Shell
Motul
or Castrol or something else in it.
Any product, and that helps the competitors analyze their engine health, allow for planning, and actually to optimize performance. So
also helps you guys with a bit of R&D, so you
100%.
know what the other Oaks oils do.
100%. So that's the big reason for the lab. It makes sure that we can test our product at the harshest conditions and bring the best product to the market that we possibly can. Dakar definitely challenges every single thing.
Can I bring my lawnmower oil to you?
you're going to struggle with the lawnmower in the desert. It might get clogged up there as you cut one of those dunes away.
Taki, Collins mowed a lot of lawns in his time. So
you can go to Dakar Classic on his lawnmower.
Sorry, you broke up a bit. I didn't hear anything that you said. Don't talk about classics. Your daddy's a classic. Apparently, somebody won the bikes. Another South African won the bikes again.
Yeah, somebody did win the bikes, and Michael Doherty, what a stellar ride.
Hold on a minute. Who was the last South African to win a bike stage in Dakar?
I don't know. Who is it?
22 years ago.
It's a long time. Brad, do you know who that is? I'm sure you've heard a lot about it.
Bit of history there.
Sometimes people say I look like him.
How cool is that? 22 years ago, your dad wins, and now Mike wins.
I'm sure you would have preferred it to be him.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I didn't know. I read the thing. I said, "Hey, Alf, it's 22 years since you last won." It was supposed to be me. Sorry, but next year I'll give it my best shot again. But no, super happy for Mike. He's talented. The Oak is a machine on a motocross bike. Really good in the dunes. He, like I said earlier, he's been through the absolute ringer this Dakar. And I just kept telling, we shared a camper, and I just kept saying to him, hey, we're coming to the dunes the last 4 days. That's when you're coming to shine. And just get to the dunes, Don't, be consistent and, put in 1 or 2 stage results. But the guy would crash. It was the marathon day. He crashed on day 4. Comes in, he's limping. I'm like, Mark, you need a painkiller? What's the story? He's like, I'm not well. And then the next day, most of the days, running in the top 3. I'm like, how do you do it? You were dying yesterday, and you I said, what revive juice do you have there in your Camelback? So, no, super nice for him. It's a big effort. When you're a privateer, it's a lot of money to be there, and to put a result like this on the board is really awesome for him. It's cool. Another South African, another win.
A result like that, how significant is it in getting support from that you don't have to haul out all of those euros?
Definitely will help, because he's got a stage win at Dakar. He's in the history books. It's tough out there at the moment trying to get sort of a solid deal. There's sort of this older generation, between 34 to 36, 38, and you know that they got 2-3 years max left in this. And then there's like this new generation where it's like, you know, you have Edgar that's 19, I'm 26, you know, there's a couple my age, and then Mark's like 30, 31. So age is definitely a big thing at the moment where they're looking. So, there's not a lot of us under 30. So it's sort of like we're just waiting for these older guys, but they're still bloody fast, you know. We're just kind of waiting for them to say, okay, you know what, I want to stay at home on Christmas and New Year's with my family and not risk my life for 14 days. So, it's crazy. I mean, like, you know, Quintanilla, he's done 13 Dakars. Like, us, you know, we shared at the Raceday, at the marathon day, we all stay in that big tent, and he was next to me, and I said, Quinty, 13 Dakars, like 13 of this. And he was like, I know, don't worry, I'm questioning every decision, especially this year. This year was next level.
Put that into context with Janelle de Villiers. This was his 22nd Dakar, 238 consecutive stages he's done.
I had breakfast in the bivouac before they flew me out, and Janelle was there, and him and I were, and he said this is the first time because we moved with the whole circus to the next bivouac, and then they flew us from Riyadh, and he was like, this is the first time I've ever seen what it looks like not being from the stage point of view, you know. And I was like, that's crazy. I mean, that's a big step. But anyway, I'm sure he said first thing he was doing was a wood fire bra, because he's from Cape Town. Shame they don't know what charcoal is. And he was having a glass of red wine and a wood fire bra. So I'm sure he's enjoyed that by now.
Yeah, and contemplating the future. What else happened in bikes today? I'm fascinated with what Bradley said about, what was it, chess match?
Cat and mouse. But we're going to come back to that now. So I just want to throw this out for Colin, because somehow on the show he keeps talking about a camel toe, which is very weird. And for you today, we have a camel toe that finished 7th.
Okay, what's its real name?
A hoto.
A hoto camel toe.
Camel toe, yeah. So,
but it's got a KTM motor in it.
KTM motor with supposedly.
I got a good story about that team.
Tell us, because this is Colin's favorite team.
Okay, so I got a Facebook message after Dakar 23. I broke my elbow on day 1, you know, depressed, everything. I get a message from some guy on Facebook, Google Translate. I have a Chinese team. I will buy you KTM rally bike, and I will bring you China to race. So I was like, I thought it was a scam. Never went back to it.
Facebook Marketplace.
I was like, Facebook Messenger. I was like, whatever. Okay, I know I look a little bit Chinese when I smile, but anyway. So then 2-3 days later, and this guy messaged me again. Please reply. Need answer. Anyway, I have a friend from Australia. He messages me on WhatsApp, more legit, and he says, hey, I'm going to China to do this 10-day rally. This team wants you to come. I'm in the team. I think it'll be rad. There's a lot of money, like, just say yes, and there's a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I agreed. I got flown to China. I took my own mechanic, my good mate from here at home. Taki knows him, or Tristan Tamsin. He's never worked on a rally bike. There was a brand new KTM. Don't ask me where it came. Brand new KTM rally bike. And we were in China for 2 weeks. And let me tell you, the experience with this team was just next level. But anyway, all went well. We won the rally. And they told me they're coming to Dakar. They're coming to Dakar with their own bike. And here they've built their own bike. It's got a KTM engine. So it's got a good engine. But it's their own bike. I mean, it's their suspension, everything is you know, it's somehow one guy in the team is related to someone at Cove. So I don't know how much of an overlay there is, but Hoto is here to stay, I think.
Right, so camel toes shall reign supreme.
Yeah. So tell me, after you went out to China,
maybe you can be the media guy. Maybe you can be the media guy, Colin. You can be their PR. I could put in a good word for you. You need Google Translate though. There's no English.
We need Google Translate for Colin anyway, so it's fine. So don't worry about it. But tell me, so when you were there for 2 weeks, then were there discussions after the fact, or were you just there for a bit of a shakedown and to give them feedback, or how did that work?
No, so I mean, I rode a KTM, so they just told me afterwards, like, hey, they're going to come to Dakar with their own bike, and I was like, okay, good job, good luck, like, because I just had an absolute experience of KTM. Not even mainland China, like Western China, and it was crazy. I ate Oreos and muesli every day because I don't know what I was eating that got dished out on the plate. So it was the experience. But it was cool. It was cool rally, and we went through the Gobi, bit of the Gobi Desert, and then this other desert, the Takamamla or something like this, and yeah, it was cool. But it was special. We raced 3 days, then we'd have 2 days off. Then we'd race 2 days, 1 day off. Then race 1 day, 1 day off. Then race 2 days, 1 day off. So it was like this 10-day rally that took just 20 days. They weren't very big on they weren't big on over exertion. That's for sure.
Yeah, so let's move back to the bikes results. So yeah, just to run through quickly, Doherty takes the stage, Gonzalez second, Tobias Epster third. He's obviously looking to make up time on Canet in the Rally 2. Then we had Skylar House. He brought it home in 6th place. Ahoto in 7th with Galzaninkas. And then, we are South African boys. So interesting enough, Daniel Sanders came in 11th. Dwayne Barnard on the South African side was 62nd with Avenant 88th. Looks like Sanders has still opened up the gap a little bit more. Sharana not having the best result, finishing in 17th today. In Rally 2 for the stage, Doherty, the winner, obviously winning it overall, and then Epster second, Canet third, who's now managing his race perfectly to take that Rally 2 win of Dakar. Then overall, Sanders extends his gap now to 16 minutes, and this is where we bring our very own specialist, Brad. What do you think about what's happening out there at the moment? Because it looks like it's very much maintenance of the lead going into the last few stages.
Yeah, so today was a big cat and mouse game. Sort of yesterday decided the Dakar, and Daniel obviously put his stamp on that. So we always knew that this was going to be a short stage. Tomorrow's a super long stage in the June. And as you saw on the chrono stage, that when they put 200 Ks, this group up together. So I know for a fact a lot of people stopped at the end, all the Honda boys. And then Honda, of course, Scala, unfortunately, is the last placed Honda. Still in 5th place, which is bloody good, but so Honda would have sent him up, told him he can't stop, he needs to finish well so he can open, because unfortunately Marky's won the stage, but he's never opened a stage and he's in the June. So the last thing you want is now the openers not navigating so well. So Scala will most probably be opening by kilometer 50 to 60 tomorrow, just because of, he's got lines to follow in the Junes. And then Scala will lead a good way. The big thing is, though, Tosha is now starting 12 minutes behind Daniel. So let's say Tosha catches Daniel, that's 12 minutes, there's 4 minutes to play. I don't think Tosha will catch 12 minutes, that's quite big, but it is a 327k stage, so it is massive. The big thing, I think, is Adrian versus Tosha for 3rd and 2nd. Adrian starting 4 minutes behind Tosha, so I think he's 7 minutes down from Tosha, so you've got quite a lot there, but anything can happen. Tomorrow's going to be, they're all going to ride together. I can guarantee you it's going to be a big group at the finish, and pretty much everyone's going to look after the bikes, especially Daniel, Tosha, Adrian. I thought Luciano would maybe wait longer so he could be back, because he's only like 5-6 minutes behind Adrian. So unless he didn't quite get his timing right, or Adrian waited longer than him, but Luciano, he's starting just behind Daniel. He'll play, watchmate for Daniel. Or the next thing is Daniel will catch Edgar pretty fast, and him and Edgar will, someone will be watching after Daniel. There's this whole, I would say, like since honestly the day after Raceday, this whole plan has been, what type of swing you're on, and actually since the beginning of the race, they figure out from when to when the best swing is, and what day you'll have to open and lose time, and what day you will win because you're starting from behind. So tomorrow's a massive day, but they're all going to be riding together from 200, 250 Ks in, and come one big group. It's quite hard for Epster's going to be, he's going to lose a lot to Canet tomorrow. Canet starting 8th, him 3rd, so that's unfortunate for Tobias. I know he would have wanted to, maybe make one last push, but he got a 3rd place stage, and that he can put on his resume. So sometimes you got to look what's better, a good stage or worrying about the overall. He's going to be 9th overall in the rally. That's really, really good to be top 10 and be on the podium of Rally 2 is a big feather. So, it was a big cat and mouse game today, but also a massive day for them. And I actually just, I told Dwayne a few days ago, I said, hey, you're going to look at the short stage in the dunes and be like, oh, finally, an easy day. You've got 530 Ks or 550 K liaison in the morning, so from Maritzburg to Joburg. And then you've got the short dune day, but you've got to watch. There are so many broken dunes, and it can go south quickly. So, yeah, happy that they all made it through. And they've got one more big day, and then a short little sprint through the last day, 60-something Ks, all starting on I think it's 10 is on the first row, then 11 to 20 on the next row. And it's overall. So pretty much whatever happens tomorrow is going to be the decider of Dakar unless there's a bike failure.
Jeez, I'm absolutely fascinated. Just getting a little bit of insight. You've taught me so much about, look, bikes have never been my thing. And when you and Ross didn't finish, it was like, oh, well, okay, there's just a biker guy can handle that sort of stuff. I'll focus on the cars. But Bradley, that's like, wow, can we carry on with more of this? One cool thing with me with KTM, with my support this year, is that I had quite a lot of intel with Jordi Villadoms, who's the KTM, I wouldn't call him a map man, but he's the trainer. He does all the roadbook training, and he's very clever. And literally, they told us prologue is the most important day of this whole rally, because prologue decided your day one of the reverse order. Day one, then obviously whatever you caught up in the reverse order, you were winning, doing good on time. Then the chrono stage, we all knew we were going to be riding together from the dunes. And then you literally, what swing you on? So day 3, day 5, day 7, day 9. And you had to be on the good swing. So you got started at the back for tomorrow, from today.
And the funny thing is, we look at prologue as just almost like a qualifier and a shakedown, but now we realize how important the prologue actually is.
I think it's more important for the bikes and the cars.
Well, yes, because of this reverse order the first 3 days. But if the cars are on a split route tomorrow, that's also going to be because, Shishiri, the guy's done like 15 Dakars. He's almost won. Maybe he has won a Dakar. I don't know. But he's won so many stages. He's got a bloody good co-driver. They got lost in the chrono stage for 45 minutes in the dunes. So that can turn the whole car if the guy opening just gets a bit lost, because, again, you're pushing the lines. You're not concentrating on the road book. This is from a biker. In the dunes, if there's lines in front of me, I'm following the lines. I'm jumping the dune. I'm not worried about the road book. I'm just making sure the waypoints ping along. But in the car now, if you're doing that and then realize, hey, I'm a bit off here, you don't know whether you need to go left, whether you need to go right. In the chrono stage, I started the second day, I pulled off 5th. We all bunched together in the dunes. There was 10 of us. We realized we were lost looking for a waypoint. I just went on the dune and stopped because I didn't know whether to go left or right, because I didn't scroll the road book for like 7 Ks. I was just following my leader. I watched Adrian, I watched Ross, I watched Daniel, all doing circles. And then when I was like, and I saw Adrian look down and then double look, meaning, hey, he got the waypoint. I just rode to Adrian's direction. Boom, my arrow opened. And when I looked, everyone's following. So, you got to be really on tomorrow because of this little bit inexperienced guys opening. But honestly, Nani in the cars he's a machine, so he should be okay.
To add to Brad now with the dunes, just mentioning that, I thought I was a decent bike rider. And I was lucky enough to ride some dunes this year for the first time ever out in Namibia. And Ross was there, and I got on this bike, and I'm like, it's dunes. How hard can this possibly be? I've raced nationals. I'm there. I've raced with the front guys. The first dune I couldn't even ride over. And there's Ross jumping it. So it's really, watching it on TV all the years, I check these guys on TV. I'm like, oh, dunes, cool. That looks so much fun. I want to go do that. Try do it yourself. It's mad respect to see what the guys deal with, and then trying to navigate, find waypoints, and still be safe, because it can go wrong so quickly. I went over the handlebars a few times just messing around. I wasn't even looking down at any map, so it's really impressive to see the pace they run through there.
I think the big thing when I say you can get so disorientated in the dunes is because they do an average cap. So that means they go from, they've put the road book and they just draw out and they say, let's say average cap of 200. Well, when you go over the dune, you go a bit to the left. Now you're 230. Then you come back, you're at 198. So the whole time you're crisscrossing the actual line. So that's why you get disorientated, because you start veering off. Then you say, I need to come back. Then you actually go over your imaginary line that you've got in your head of the cap. Now you're at 150. Now am I too far to the left? Am I too far to the right? And also, if the waypoint is in 1 kilometer, by the time you've, surfed the dune, you're at like 1.4. You're like, hey, why is this thing not, pinging? Because you've done more meters. Then you start to freak out. No, it's an ordeal, I'll tell you that.
And they're pretty steep, eh? Dunes are steep.
Massive respect for the way you guys ride, navigate, stay alive, get the stuff together, and go bloody fast.
So the best thing about Namibia is they're like one of the hardest dunes in the world because of all the faces. I think you have 7 faces in Namibia. Most dunes is only one type of face, depending the wind blows. But because the wind blows from Langstrand, and I know the Afrikaans guys are going to say it's Langstrand, but Langstrand, or however you want to call it, and then the wind blows from Walvis, and then the wind blows from Swakop. All the dunes are different. So you can have super steep, then super chilled. So you can never, it's hard to read the dunes in Namibia. And that's why we spend so much time there, because if you can master the dunes really well in Namibia, dunes are pretty easy all over the world because it's a one-direction wind blow.
He's making me feel a bit better.
Next year, what?
That's why I got stuck on the first dune. The dunes are difficult.
Next year is with you in the bivouac.
How cool would it be to have a race in the dunes of Namibia?
I mean, I think some people get really hurt, but yeah, could be good. It'll be nice because there'll be a good party afterwards, I'll tell you that.
Too many Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, the Namibians are not scared.
Let's switch to some socials, yeah? And I've gone through, there's a lot of people that have joined us, but here's one for Brad, and it's just a kudos to you from Penny D'Souza. Well done, Brad, on always flying the SA flag high. Next to the other Brad, Binda, you are my favorite on 2 wheels. Regarding the cars, traffic tomorrow will make tomorrow's stage interesting. Ekstrom got a 25-minute penalty, so NASA is now in a podium position. No nails left. Thoughts there, Colin, on the penalty?
I know not of what you speak.
Okay.
So therefore I'm unable to...
No comments. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the thing. Matt is... He's got
that'll be a waypoint, probably. A waypoint, or they haven't put a safety belt on right, or they've left the tire in the desert.
Safety belts were normally a couple of seconds. 15 odd minutes is a waypoint, but I don't see that on the results I'm looking at the moment. However, I shall hunt it down. I shall come back.
Refresh.
Well, while Colin looks for his SMS on his Nokia 3310.
I'll message Matthias and ask him.
Freddie Funamava says, I take my hat off to the bikers, have to do all while going as fast as possible over dirt and gravel, no safety belt, respect. I'm just showing some stuff at you, Brad, because obviously it's not often we have you in studio. And finally, we have someone that knows what they're talking about, so it is quite lucky. Dion Fenter says, Brad, can you give some insights into Dakar 26? Any other insights you got going forward? I know you've obviously given us a lot of information going forward, but is there anything else you haven't mentioned that might be interesting?
No, I think obviously the biggest thing is this year we were all on the digital roadbook. That was the biggest change for everything. And personally, I didn't have any issues. Obviously, I exited early, but there was a lot of Chucky's freezing. Tosh's got replaced one time before the start. Edgar had a lot of issues. So this was a lot of time back. For instance, Edgar's second place stage, he was at a standstill for an hour because his tablet was frozen. So he did the right thing and he just stopped and said, bring me a new tablet because I can't navigate with anything. And he got an hour back. So I know there was a lot of little bit fighting between teams because some were getting time back, some weren't. It's not perfect, and I don't know what's going to be in the next step with this whole tablet roadbook, but I tell you what, it is a hell of a lot better than rolling a roadbook in and getting finger cramp before you need to start, and you've got 15 minutes and you're trying to scribble on it and draw. And look, I was in the era where we came with already pre-printed, so I didn't really draw too much on my roadbook. But I mean, think about someone like Quintanilla. He's 13 Dakars. He went from marking in the camper to going to pre-printed and now electronic. It's like coming through the ages, So,
but he also would have gone. He also would have gone through the era of sending it off to them or getting it back from the map man.
Yeah.
That too. So I will tell you though, there's still a lot of map mans around, and it's we still have a pretty good idea the next day what's going on. It's quite crazy, but Yeah, for 26, generally like March, they put like a teaser out. I hope personally they go away with this 48-hour, because this year they saw that it's just a procession for 2 days. And then the cars also, they're trying to protect tires, and it's cool. It's the adventure. I get the whole thing, but the Dakar's changed. It's not an adventure. It's a sprint race every day. It's not. No one leads with 40 minutes anymore, 30 minutes. It's this is one of the biggest gaps we've had in the last 5 years. I think they said with Daniel, and kudos to him for putting an amazing race together. But again, it all came a lot from the chrono. Reverse order. He just had to catch the guys, ride in the group, and get the time. So. Personally, yeah, I don't smoke sleeping in a tent, so if they could do away with that, that would be fantastic. I have put my personal complaint about that one. But yeah, this first week was next level. A lot of people always now, when people come in the shop, hey, I want to do the Dakar, and I always say, hey, the Dakar is 90% amateurs, and people can do it, and you only need an average speed of 50 k's an hour to finish. Well, that's been bumped up quite heavily, and you need to put like 6 months aside from work and train, because oh my goodness, this year was next level. I mean, I was pretty broken every day and sitting 5 hours, 5.5 hours on a bike, and the top 10%, and someone like Dwayne, or Willem. Willem,
yeah.
I think every day was coming in the dark. He's got a story to tell.
Yeah,
I said that to him. I said, like, you need to make sure you get your story out there, because I've already had 5 hours of sleep by the time the guys come in, So that's just that's the story that everyone wants, But unfortunately, you want that side of the story, but there's also the sprint race and this crazy seconds per stage, and so also just the opening speed. Generally, you would win a stage, the next day you knew you were going to lose 15 minutes, and you chilled. I was lucky 2 stages. I started near the front. I was going as fast as I could to try and get opening bonus and navigate. And my throttle was non-stop all day, because otherwise I was going to get smoked and lose 15 minutes. And then you can't get 15 minutes back the next day. So it is a sprint race now. And that's the big change of the Dakar. And yeah, I think the organizers need to just, realize that it's serious now, and it's no more this big adventure. So,
but from an organizer's point of view, they need all the adventure people to pay the entry fees and bolster their income.
ASO struggling for bucks, I'll tell you that. But definitely, that's what it is, and we always say that it's a professional race, but 80% is amateurs, and that's the story, and that's what drives them. And then that medal is, I guarantee this game, Dwayne, Willem, they are going to cry when they get that medal. I cried when I got my first medal, because it's you go through hell for 2 weeks. You don't know the day, you don't know the time, you don't know what day of the week you're on. You just know stage 1, stage 2. I'm still checking my phone. What day is today? Oh, Wednesday, and I've been home already a day, So you get in this bubble, and it's just like this, and you're in bed every night at 8 o'clock. I wake up at 4 o'clock most days. I do the same routine for 14 days. I eat the same thing for 14 days. I come in, I drink the same thing. I go to the physio at the same time. I eat dinner, and I go to bed. Like, it's just this military clockwork for 14 days. And it's very hard to come out of that, You're on a sleeping pill at night, so you sleep with earplugs. You generally will be on some sort of painkiller at some point during the rally, and it takes you're a human being, and to wean off of all of that, it's tough. Like, you need like another 2-week holiday just after Dakar, So it's extreme. When the professionals are going through hell, I really feel for the amateurs, but. Yeah, let me tell you, this medal that they're gonna get, it's gonna be worth it, and they got stories to tell, and it's so awesome. And the more South Africans we get there, the better. So,
and in a way, Brad, you still racing, you still deeply involved in the event, because it's been for so long, it's been part of your life. Okay, you're not there, but you in contact with everybody's there. You're following the timing and watching every single waypoint and multitasking with all the messaging. Your day is consumed. Well, our days are consumed by Dakar. I felt quite strange today because I had to do some work.
It's really like that. I mean, I've never seen it from that side because generally I'm racing, so I just stick to my same thing. But like, I'm checking the timing. I'm like, hey, why are these guys taking so long to get to the waypoint? I'm figuring out what's happening. I'm trying to, I read the stage. I'm still on the Sportity and that, so I'm seeing the stage info the next day. I'm still on the WhatsApp groups from the team, so I know what's going to happen. Is there going to be a tire change for the Rally 2 guys? Is there going to be the support vehicle following you on the assistance route? There's a whole lot of stuff, and you're so deeply in it that it's like this 2-week world.
You're following the track on the map and seeing.
So I don't follow the map because my mom and my aunt and my girlfriend, they all follow the map, and then they freak out when your arrow does something. So I ban them. I say, you guys can't watch the map. Just watch me coming through the waypoint. So I'm like not even touching the map because I've banned them. They don't listen. They still follow the map. But I'm trying to do as I say,
Brad, can we come back to something that you mentioned earlier there when you said that you're stuck in the bubble and you do the same thing for 14 days, eat the same thing, whatever the case is, sleep at the same time. What do you eat? Because for 14 days, I mean, your body is taking an absolute beating. How are you replenishing the electrolytes and keeping yourself going? Because that amazes me. Like, what could you possibly eat in the desert to keep you fueled for 14 days and riding at the pace that you ride?
How's the camel over there?
Ask Alf. I didn't have this year. He was there with NASA. No, what did he have this year? Pigeon. He put it on his video. He was having pigeon or something with NASA this year.
Are we having pigeon
NASA
tomorrow?
was shooting again.
Yeah, we're having pigeon here tomorrow.
Well, NASA shot it with a 12 gauge or something, so I don't know how much pigeon was left. But anyway, what do we eat? So the hardest thing is you can't eat on the bike in the car. It's physical. So I'm quite into cycling and I quite enjoy science, like sports science and all of this. So I did a lot of research this year, and cycling's new hype and big thing is the guys are taking 100 to 120 carbs an hour. So, it makes perfect sense. It's your glycogen levels and it's everything. It's power, it's concentration. And I'm also very lucky with USN, Albie. He's very knowledgeable, so he also helped me a lot with this. And I actually started working with not really a dietitian, but like a sports science guy that's all in food and this. And I'd wake up, and in the morning I'm trying to put 200. So as I wake up, go to breakfast. I'm trying to put 200 grams of carbs to 250 grams of carbs in me, plus the proteins and all of that. But your biggest thing is carbs. Then before the stage, I'm trying to put 100 to 110 calories. Then at the refuel, I'm trying to put 150 calories and then or carbs. After the stage, on the liaison, I'm snacking if it's a long one, or just get to the finish, drink a recovery shake, and then sort of have a good meal. Generally pasta with chicken. Trying to stay away from fiber because your stomach's obviously quite sensitive. But USN, it's a lot of gels, it's a lot of bars, it's peanut butter sandwiches, it's just stuff that you can kind of scoff down easily and that your stomach's not going to react. So, like a gel has got 40 grams of carbs, so 2 gels in a bar, that's 40, 80, it's 120 in 3 things. So it's not like the most, I'd say the food pyramid's not looking so good, but it's what you need to survive and to be functioning.
And liquid, do you have plain water, or how do you get rid of that cuck taste of all the gels and stuff that you're shoving down your mouth all the time?
So I will say USN make a pretty good tasting Camelback mix, Epic Pro, white peach. If anyone wants to buy it, it really tastes the best I've ever had. Yeah, white peach, and so that's also I'm putting 4 scoops of that. I think there's 40 grams a scoop. So in the Camelback in 3 liters, I've got like 150 grams of carbs. So you also got that plus the protein, plus it has a little bit of caffeine in it. Oh, not to mention also caffeine. I'm having a gel with 40 grams of carbs plus 100 milligrams of caffeine. So, twice a day just to be like, buzzing like I've got a bit of a caffeine addiction. So, the biggest thing is concentration. That's, and this year was physical. This year I will say, in the past I've always said, it's 70% of it's mental, 30% is physical, where this year it was like 50-50. But it's just trying to make sure that you're on the navigation, not making a mistake, not going into a lull, making sure that you are quick and on the navigation, and that all systems are firing.
May I just interrupt you there? We're going to get back because I find this absolutely fascinating, the whole thing. I just wanted to remind everybody, the leader overall of this year's 2025 Dakar's Henk Latergan and Brett Cummings.
Who?
Henk Latergan, Brett Cummings are back in the lead.
Yes. A lot of people are chuffed about that.
And Toyota Gazoo Racing in a Toyota Hilux, because apparently it's not a Hilux Bucky, because it's not a Bucky, it's a Hilux. So it's a Toyota Hilux. And we've got a little quick interview that he shared. Then we're going to get back to you, Brad, because this is a motorbike show. I'm sorry to interrupt the motorbike show for a little bit of car news, but let's have a listen to Henk after today's stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for me to judge the pace in the sand. It's something different. I'm used to the gravel more, and I know when I'm going quickly and when I'm not. In the sand, I have no idea. So we were going at a decent pace, we thought, and then Martin Prokop came past us, so we thought, okay, maybe we're going a little bit too slow, so we sped up a little bit, and at the end we came through and we were second fastest so far. Hopefully there's a few guys behind us that can be a little bit quicker than us so that they can slot in front of us on the road for tomorrow's stage. So here in the dunes, and especially because there's no bikes, the front guys lose a lot of time. If you have to open the stage, you have to literally go and make the track that everybody else follows, and it's not easy to see where the crest of the dunes are, especially because we're doing the stage in the middle of the day, and it's almost impossible to have the depth perception in the dunes, so having tracks to follow helps a lot.
When Oak says, I'm not so confident and sure of how fast I'm going, and then still ends up leading the rally, you know he is something very, very, very special.
Yeah.
And so humble. I think that's the coolest thing.
Yeah, I think that's the best part, is that the Oaks aren't going out there with big egos. They're just out there to race and do their thing.
Proper Oak. You got some interesting comments.
There's a comment here, but I'm going to switch it around, because last time we had Brad on the show, everyone was always saying, oh, it's Alfie's son, whatever. And the same thing, good man, this Bradley is just like his Toppie. But I reckon this Toppie is just like Brad.
Hold on. Last year, we actually changed it around.
Yeah, we
Alfie
did.
Brad's dad.
Brad's dad. And that's how it has to be going forward.
So from now on,
when I won the world championship, the first thing I said to him is, maybe they'll call me Brad. Call you Brad's dad now.
Well, going forward, and we discussed this last time, but we'll make sure that going forward we'll just refer to him as Brad's dad. That's how it has to be.
Is Brad's dad home yet? Or is he still Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, he flew home with me. We were out of there, and he was back in the shop today selling bikes, like he never left. There's a good running joke. Every time he goes somewhere, so he's got a little desk because he can't really sit still, Alf. And he's up and he's down, and computers is not his baby. Don't get him on that. So he's got his diary, and it's like this, and he's got his glasses and a pen, and everything he does on the phone he writes down. And when he goes somewhere, he leaves the book open like this, and he puts the pen and his glasses. And he puts it on the day he's coming back. So he goes on a tour or he goes somewhere. He comes back, and he literally comes at 7:30 in the morning. He sits down, puts his glasses on, and starts writing again, like he never left. So I'm just looking. It's literally in front of me here, and it's open. The glasses are there, and the pen is on the floor. So on the book, and he will come in tomorrow. And so it's like he never left. But yeah, he's back selling bikes and doing what he does best, and that's a salesman. And but I wanted to touch on one thing Henk said. So what would be quite interesting to ask them is, so we have special lenses that 100, I'm 100% athlete. So all of us 100% athletes. We have special lenses for the dunes that you can't buy them because they're so dark, to help us read when the sun is above us, to help read at the road book from the glare, and B, the terrain, to be able to have the depth perception. And I know the new Bell helmets, they have like a visor here you can put in, but I wonder what lenses, are they changing their lenses from a normal stage to a dune stage, or if they've got sunglasses? I know, most of them use Oakley cycling glasses, which has a prism lens, or 100% has got a hyper lens. So this would be quite an interesting thing to ask the car guys. Do they change lenses? Because we're changing. I mean, there's always the famous picture. You see us holding the lenses before the stage, trying to figure out what we're going to go with. And then you start the stage and you don't think, well, maybe what's the weather doing at 100 Ks? Then you get 100 Ks, you're like, this lens, I can't really see so well. I generally go with the dark one all the time, even if it's like almost raining. I've got 12% lens in, and because you don't know what the weather's doing 100 Ks later.
A lot of the cars, particularly Audi and Peugeot, started with fiddling with the windscreen. And looking at different levels of filtering, a lot for heat, but mainly for different bits of light to get the depth perception and keep the contrast going.
And the hardest thing in the empty quarter is it's white sand. I mean, Taki can tell you firsthand from Namibia, you leave and you go up the first dune, you don't even know you're going, and then all of a sudden it drops because it's white sand. You can't. Your eyes need like a minute or two to adjust. Or if you've got a clear lens, good luck going in Namibia, because you're just riding, and all of a sudden going what, tuck, 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 bang, because you've gone off a broken dune. You don't even know.
How does it go?
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone's seen my crash. My video's done the rounds, that's for sure. But I saw this bump. On day 4, I was doing 140 along like a plateau, and all of a sudden, everything started to, my vision started to get like all the sand was one color. The sand started to come 2 colors, and there was a camel grass almost my size that I hit at 140, and I saw it within 10 meters because that's when the color of the sand changed. So it's scary stuff with that stuff.
Yeah, it literally feels like you're riding blind. I must say I think that's why I couldn't ride over the first dune. I wasn't really sure where I'm going.
Blame it on your sunglasses.
Yeah, so I didn't have that special lens that they don't sell. That was it.
I'm going to send you one because I know your ability, and it's not like that. Taki's given us carrots there in Carltonville before. We thought we knew what we were doing, and this local farm boy came and blew our doors off.
Flat out Millifields, eh?
Yeah.
Are you going to be riding again this year?
Yeah.
I'd hope to. I missed last year, missed the guys. I want to ride some bike.
On a Pepsin Kawasaki.
Yeah, with Ian. I'm sure there's a bike there. I'll phone him after the show, see if he's got a bike.
No, he's watching. Ian, Taki needs a bike, but a proper one, and make sure it's fast so you can win.
And make sure you send an extra set of lenses with the bike.
Can you ask if he's maybe got another one? I'm looking.
You heard that, so Brad needs... There you are.
And then I can follow Brad in the dunes with these lenses.
We'll do a broker deal with Ian, but will you run with a little Raceday sticker on your bike?
I mean, we can talk the figures, sure. We can talk the numbers.
Square meterage.
I'm not sure how much you'd like to pay us, but, we'll make it a small fee. Come, Pepperoni. Get some bikes for these two. They need it.
Are you going to put a deal together? Are you racing? Because, I'm sure Brad will organize you a nice set of extra lenses for the dunes. And then
maybe you can give them some oil.
And I can follow him in the dunes.
There you go.
It's a win-win.
Sounds perfect.
Problem solved. There's an interesting comment here. You might know this person, Taki. Mersha Janssen, great show, fascinating insights.
Yeah, that's actually quite dangerous. These past 2 weeks, Dakar, or actually work, has really mixed in with my Dakar time. I just had to put that out there while my boss is watching. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week with Dakar out the way. It's going to be like...
Record sales.
Yeah, record sales.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, she's watching that.
Be careful what you say. I'm going for you.
Also, lots of oil samples will be coming back from Saudi that Taki's going to test, just to make sure we're above the grade.
Yeah, just very quickly on oil. I know, what's it, a V300? That's
300
cool,
yes.
Cool oil for racing cars. I've got a Nissan Tido with 198,000 kilos on it. The gearbox has got, it's a Nissan, it makes a noise in it.
It does?
What oil should I put in it, and what oil should I put in the engine?
You should definitely put Motul in it. There's your starting point to solve any problems you may have. Yeah. And then you're just going to check the car's going to be a whole lot faster, and you won't have any funny noises. With Motul, there aren't funny noises.
Awesome.
We just lubricate everything.
So I put racing oil in the engine,
Yeah, and racing oil in the gearbox.
Yes.
And we have this stuff, but it's interesting saying that. Like, I mean, oil. That was what was cool about Dakar. I mean, there were some years the guys had some fuel issues. In 2020, it was the first time Honda won. I was actually lucky enough to stand on the podium with the guys afterwards. It's a real highlight of my career. Seeing what the oil tells you about the bikes. I mean, we helped the team with some technical issues, taking penalties on some changes that actually got them through the Dakar without a failure. So one of the teams had serious fuel dilution issues. Out of the oil, we can say, listen, mapping, you're too rich here. Let's see how we can adapt it. And that's the real benefit that the lab brings the competitors.
Can you also, see like there's cylinder metal particles or bearing?
100%. So we can see what part of the engine's wearing, main bearings, if it's top end wear, potentially getting sand in, if there's a gap somewhere that you're getting some sand traveling through the air intake. Water in the oil, and that's cool because we see it across the field, from the bikes, side by sides, trucks, cars, and it's really, really cool to see how your products are performing, especially if we're testing some new products with some teams, but also how our standard products are performing, and then also helping the guys through the Dakar. I remember in my first day, I arrived at Raceday, did some samples that day, and one of the original by Motul guys brought their product to us for testing, and we picked up high dust content in the oil. And I mean, this guy's there for the adventure. He's like spent hours and hours out in the desert. And he went through his bike, and on the top of the Rally 450s, maybe Brad can give us some more insight, there's like a check, just a little bolt that screws out that you could check the top end. Your valves, that part, just on the tappet cover. And his cap had actually come out, and there was dust getting in there. If we didn't pick that up, his Dakar would have been over in 2 days. And that's the type of benefit to really help get the guys to the finish line and over the finish line when they're doing this massive commitment.
We've done.
Well, I can tell you that Ricky saved that this year. He got a hole in his exhaust pipe on the second day of the Corona, and he kind of mumbled to me, "Oh, probably gonna have to change the engine off this because obviously when you close the gas, the vacuum that the dust would pull from the bash plate and all of this into the engine." And I was coming back from eating lunch off that day, and I saw the Honda guy with his sample going into the Motul lab, and yeah, they haven't had to change Ricky's engine. So I guarantee you that without that, for safety, they would have changed his engine and made him take a 15-minute penalty. So it's really good that they have this here.
Oh, keep it up. Yeah. Love that stuff.
But we have similar, yeah. I mean, we've just taken an oil sample now from a car that did the 9-hour. And sent it off to the lab here locally, and they've done the test, and it's come back with Taki reviewing the report, and they're saying that the car's overfueling. If we carry on like this, it might drop a motor.
Was it a GT3 car? No, come on. Just a.
It was an endurance racing car.
Yeah. we sworn to secrecy.
Oh,
a 4-hour endurance racing car.
And it's a little bit green and red. And I tell you what, you've got sleep problems.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the one to go to. Hello, Nick Adcock. Oh, I tell you what, hey, Inspector Clouseau is on it. Right, let's. How much time have you got left? Can we carry on for another hour and a half, Brad?
Brad, I hope you've
unemployed. I'm unemployed at the moment, so I got.
Brad's going surfing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Isn't your dad going to put you to work and try and sell a bike or two?
He's still on leave.
So he is, because I said to him, I got to start working at Alfie Cox Racing now, and he said, you can start. This was on the plane. You can start on Wednesday. So I said, technically, I'm only supposed to be home on the 19th, so therefore on the 20th I will start. But I must say, I did a bit of sitting around today, and I'd rather be in the shop. So I guess I'll be back at work tomorrow.
Yeah.
You got some more stuff?
I'll have a look through, yeah. What's happening tomorrow? Take us through tomorrow, Colin.
Tomorrow, it's basically the same thing they do today. And I love the way, I haven't got the full briefing because I'm being fascinated listening to Alfie. But
Alfie? Who's your Alfie?
I mean, Alfie's son, Brad.
No. Sorry, Brad, we don't know this guy so well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I grovel.
That's fired.
Bradley, sorry.
There's
there's
that
62%
helmet placement sticker went up.
There's 62% dunes and 38% sand. So basically, it's all sand. Some of it's flat, some of it's not so
dunes,
flat.
100% sands.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
lie on that also, just by the way. They also said there was only 20% rocks the one day, and we rode rocks all day, so they lie on that. Yeah. So I can tell you, tomorrow is going to be 20 Ks of dunes along these long shots for like 10 Ks, then 20 Ks of dunes, and then these long shots, a little bit like the chrono stage last year. If someone wants to go back and watch chrono stage from last year, stage 5 and 6, or 6A, 6B, it's pretty much what they're going to be in. High dunes, a lot of holes, deep cuts, super soft because it doesn't rain there, so the sun is baking. It's hot. This is also a new thing. We've been freezing cold there. They're coming into warm weather now. You saw a lot of the bikers putting water on themselves after the finish, and so yeah, it really is a big and important day tomorrow, and it's going to be just like doing a 500k in the stones. Is the same as doing this 327 in the sand.
And your prediction? What do you see happening, and what would you like to happen?
I'd like. Yeah, I think I have a feeling Van Beveren or Tosha is going to win the stage just because where they're starting from. Chucky's going to not take the risk, make sure the bike stays well. They're all going to finish in a group. And yeah, pretty much what happens tomorrow is as long as there's no bike failure the next day, that's going to be your overall rankings. But I would predict Van Beveren or Tosha, just where they're starting, that they will get the time to win. I know Nacho's starting a bit later than them, so maybe even Nacho can pull off a win. That'll be awesome for Hero. And yeah, Nacho's done a phenomenal job, so it'd be nice if he could get another stage win. But yeah, look for the guys that are starting 15 back to maybe win the stage.
There you go. My belief for tomorrow is that Henk has got a better starting position than Nasser and Yazid. I think that, they're starting 10, 15 cars behind Henk. I think that's a little bit, I might be wrong. I'm totally happy to be wrong. I think Henk will pull out a little bit more time. Game over, wins the race overall. It'd be absolutely fantastic.
Fingers crossed.
Amazing.
And if he does, yeah, fingers crossed, touch wood. They said that I jinxed a few people. I don't think so. Touched wood all the time. And he's back in the lead. We put up a thing this morning with concentrating on bikes. Thank you very much for suggesting that you pull in and talk to us. And we get a South African winner. I think it's absolutely bloody
all the
fantastic.
stars aligned, Colin.
No, of course
you did
they
good.
Did.
You did
and
very
it was
good.
nearly full. It was full moon on Monday, I think it was. So all is good with the world.
North Star.
Yeah. We are also finely tuned athletes, and we run on food. So today we had, what was the official title of the food?
That's a good question.
Buffalo's wings.
Were they buffaloes?
They were pretty big.
It was huge.
I couldn't pick one up.
No, it was.
Sure, I would have
It
come
was
to the
cooked
studio
by our
if I knew
executive
that.
producer. Notice it.
knew
Look
that
at
was it.
efficiency with the grid. Basically, they were chicken wing thighs.
Look at those
Or like-
wings. Did you see those wings holding up the bridlet there?
What do you call this part of a chicken's wing, as opposed to the flappy part?
That's bingo wing and that's bicep.
Okay. Anyway, it was that lacquer part. They disappeared. So officially, before we even ate the food, we gave it a 9.7 rating, and I gave it a 9.834. It got 3 points off because it didn't have salad, but then it was so nice it got 3 points back on. So by far, it's the best thing. Executive producer, he who shall be obeyed, is the best cook. There was no. We had this debate about. Bradley, you're not a vegan, are you?
No, lions
is,
don't eat grass.
There you go. There you go. Because, imagine not being able to have prosciutto with melon or bacon. If you're doing an omelette, you have to have bacon in it. How do you have a ham, cheese, and egg sandwich? You can't have that.
Okay. Where are you going with this, Colin?
Why would anybody want to be a vegetarian?
I mean, can we just run through comments?
Or a vegan?
Darren Moore.
Sharon Moore.
Darren Moore is vegetarian. His whole life.
So,
So navigating, you navigate pretty
I
sharp.
take it from this, we won't get Sharon Moore on this show anytime soon.
No, he'll come and convince me that bacon is not nice.
No,
Sorry.
he's pretty funny about it also. I quite enjoy.
I think it could be fun. Maybe
Quite
it could
enjoy.
teach
We
me
were
something.
coming back once from a race and might have had 1 or 2 alcohol beverages, and we pulled into the local McDonald's at definitely not a curfew hour, and I went for the full Big Mac meal, and Sharon just ordered chips. And I looked at him and I said, "Why would you just order chips from McDonald's?" And he said, "Well, I don't eat meat." And then I went, "Oh my goodness me!" And his whole life, he's only eaten the chips from McDonald's.
That's very sad. But
Brad, the question is, does McDonald's actually have meat in it?
Very true, but I'll tell you, on the day when we finished stage 5 before Raceday, that's the first place I went to for lunch. So
really, eh?
I had it all. Yeah, I had it all.
Right. Anyway, we'll have I'm open to. No, I'm not. I'm not. There is no ways I'm giving up on ham
Just
and
1 week.
prosciutto and
1 week.
boerewors. Oh no, you mad?
I think you should accept the
forget
challenge of 1 week.
No. What's the prize for it?
Bradley will reconsider that offer on the
No,
Raceday
it's not
TV.
worth that.
Oh my goodness, Colin! All our racing futures are hanging on your decision here.
I mean, that's big exposure.
Come on, no.
I say 3 days. 3 days he lost. Not even.
I don't
days.
even think 3 days.
But it's like, why? I'd rather give up smoking. Oh God, now my kids know I'm smoking there. I'd rather give up smoking than give up eating meat.
It's hard when you're South African.
I could give up drinking beer for longer than I could eating meat. Well,
What else could you do, Colin? This is getting interesting.
okay, guys. Bradley, what's next for you? I notice a TGRSA hat. I see red, I see white, I see black. No blue, no orange, no yellow, no lime green. What's happening?
And
Next
also
for
note
me,
that Colin is
I'm not in a
colorblind.
car. I'm not in a car. I will tell you that Toyota has just been one of my biggest sponsors. It's pretty crazy how the whole thing came together, and forever grateful for what they've done for me the past 4 years and my rally racing. And for me, honestly, I'm sort of trying to get into a factory seat, and I didn't renew my contract with KTM South Africa, just because I need to have myself to be able to be open to anything that comes. As we know, KTM in the rally side, we're not, even though they're leading the Dakar, they're not sure what's next for them, just with everything that's going on. And I just had to make myself totally available. First time in my life, I have not had a contract to the Orange brand, and I've only ever ridden an orange bike my whole life. So it is a bit scary. Obviously, the main would be that I could stay on KTM. This would be amazing. It would complete the story. Dad, a factory rider, now me. So not that saying it's 100% out, but I'm sort of just fighting for a factory seat at the moment. Hopefully it can come. Otherwise, if I have to do another year privateer, hopefully my sponsors that I've had since day one will be up for it, and we put together a plan. For now, honestly, working a real job, working at Alfie Cox Racing, and I've always have part time, but now it's a little bit full time, and just waiting. Sort of, hopefully I'll know something by March. Hopefully I'll have a full answer or something, so I can do the South African round. I mean, this is a big goal that I have everything. Because I definitely don't want to miss out now. My home rally is in my hometown, so home country. So
essentially,
not sure. Little bit unsure what's going on at the moment. It's quite scary. Hopefully everything will line up, and
essentially, you're a free agent at the moment. Maybe your Google Translate English to Chinese might work, and you could race
maybe
a camel
we can go Raceday TV at Hoto. Maybe that's our dreams all alive.
That would be absolutely magnificent.
I'm sold. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
in.
do it.
I'm in.
We'll absolutely do it. Bradley, thank you very much for joining us. It has been a
pleasure.
privilege. And you've enlightened, I've learned so much. Thank you. And let's have a beer sometime and carry on the discussion. Anytime you feel like you want to chat to the gazillions of people who watch and follow you, just drop us a line. And also, thank you for talking to us while you were there and racing.
Only a pleasure. The support we get from you guys, from the media side, from South Africa, it's really overwhelming. I mean, I was catching up on all my social media and that, flying home and reading the comments, and you miss a lot because obviously you just you're focused on every day and you're not a lot on your phone, and it's really unreal. And I see it with the WhatsApp group that I have. I think there's like 2,000 something people, and although we joke with Alf, call him Spielberg, sometimes it's like he pulls the camera out and I'm like, like this. But the people come along for the Dakar, and this is like, they come in here and they just like, I think Alf, when he's videoing NASA's carpets and his Toyota Land Cruiser that he's got there eating the pigeon, I'm like, people really don't want to see this, but people love it. And this is so cool for me to see that, like, people get a little bit of an insight to Dakar, because for so many years, everyone wonders what's Dakar like. And now with social media, with technology, you kind of get a glimpse. And the support I have from South Africa is unreal. And I'm so proud to be South African. And you said that trick is saying earlier. I think I won't even try because my Afrikaans is terrible.
Come on, Brad. Drop it.
Come
on. What is it? Hulle weet nie want ons weet nie. Look at that.
There we
go. I think that's, it's just, South Africa's a special country. Sport unites us. And it's amazing the sportsmen that come out of our country in every sport. We have a South African doing well, and it's so nice to be able to do this, to tell people a bit more, and just, this is my way of thanking people for all their support, and you guys for following along, posting every day and talking hopefully nice stuff with us every day. I did go back and watch though, and I have to clarify my speeding penalty on why I lost the stage, and it wasn't for going over 160. I slid into the speed zone, up right too late. Yeah, so
you just slid into the zone.
Yeah, it was a 160 section into 30, and I went through the first pulse at 41, and they gave me 6 minutes. So,
Brad, the thing with trying to, unless you're on the phone all the time with people, it's crazy trying to get information here. But thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
And so I'll have to apologize tomorrow, open the show. I haven't had to apologize for a long time. But thanks for the correction.
No, it's only a pleasure. And I remember my dad's day. My dad used to borrow the satellite phone from Heinz Kindergarten to phone my mom. My mom had a guy, I don't know his surname, but he used to write the press. So then my dad would phone my mom. My mom would then phone him. This was like 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night. Tell him about the day. Then Quinn would put this out to all the newspapers back then. There was no social media and magazines, and every day it was like this, and people could write to my dad. I mean, my mom, she keeps everything, and we still have the letters people wrote to him, and you could send to the organizers. And so social media and technology today is really nice to have live feedback as we see here.
Awesome stuff. Man, Bradley, thank you. That's all I have to say. Been a massive,
thank you guys.
Privilege. Anything else that you guys want to say?
So there's been a few people coming through the socials, but a lot of the feeling is that this is the best show we've had so far this Dakar. So thanks for making that possible. And it's because we had Taki and Colin didn't talk so much. We got to hear from someone that actually knows about Dakar. So that was quite nice.
I think next year Colin has to get the media pass, and you guys do it live every night from the bivouac.
I can tell you the field won't be dwindling because of the hard terrain. I think Colin will piss on a few batteries and they'll be just packing up and leaving.
I haven't upset anybody, and I do apologize if I haven't upset anybody today.
There's still 2 days.
I've got 2 days left to go. Wait your turn. I'm an equal opportunity offender. I think on that note, I want to say thank you to our technical team for putting it together. to our reigning Rally 2 world champion, who's spent so much time with us, been so honest, straightforward, Bradley Cox. Thank you so much. It's been a privilege. Taki, to you, we thought we were going to talk a lot more about you, but it's a simple message that we've got. If you've got a thing that's got pistons in it and something that's got metal that moves, put Motul in it because it's lekker.
There we go.
Clifford, bike guy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And to everybody who's watched, thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being part of our tribe, because this is the Raceday tribe. Here we try to be lekker. Be nice, be kind, but above all, remember.
We'll catch up on socials tomorrow. Finger guns out.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
See you.